Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When you are bent upon learning, you can learn from anything and anybody. And when we are blindfolded and we just don't want to learn, even the Lord failed to teach Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana. So it is our eagerness, our readiness to learn. Now, who will like to learn and who will refuse to learn? The one who has this notion that there is always a possibility of improving upon the present situation, he will be open and he will be ready to learn. And in that process of learning, all our earlier understanding, if it is proved to be wrong, we must have the courage to drop it. Therefore, if we have to rectify our present understanding about the life, about the business, about the people around us, we have to have these two qualities. First quality, to have the courage to accept if something has been wrong in our approach to life, change it. About this, I'll tell you one example. One day I was driven by a man to his house for breakfast or lunch, and his wife was driving him and both of them were driving me crazy, and we were going. Now you can imagine, I had to go and take food in somebody's house, and in the car while going itself they are driving each other, and to me also along with the car. I don't require appetizer, it was more than an appetizer. And as if that was not enough, so the wife asked this question, Swamiji, what is the reason that some people just don't want to go to satsang? Satsang means what we are talking. In our technical language, we call it satsang. What we call as management seminars, we call it satsang. So, what is the reason? And I didn't know that I was used as a shoulder for firing the gun at the husband, the target. People use me, I have seen it now lately. So, I didn't know all that. I said, I don't know, but one of the reasons could be, when you go to satsang, what happens? We all have certain ideas about everything, about ourselves, about the world, about the ways of the world, about everything. And when we go for satsang, our ideas start getting shattered. As a result, all that we were holding on to slips away from our hand and we become totally supportless. See, for example, There was one friend of mine, and very, very successful in life, but something went wrong, and his children totally deserted him. Nobody, he had two sons, I think, two or three sons, and in his old age, they just don't want dad around. And if you see the life of the dad was exceptional, like a fiction. He started his life like a coolie on a railway platform at the age of, he was from Bihar, at the age of about 10 or 12 or 13, he did not even study class 6, 7, he left home. And he slowly developed himself and he became an industrial giant. He represented India's Industrial Council at the International Forum. So successful. And his own sons were growing. And when he became around 65 or so, business well established. But the children will not like to stay with the mom and the dad, and they are just apart. And these two old fellows staying alone, everything is there. But there is something because of which there was no joy inside. So when I went to their industry, he showed me everything. And he told me about his whole life history. How as a child I left everything, did this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. So many things he told. And I have done so much for everybody. So many people are benefited. But I don't know what has gone wrong. My own children, they just don't want me. It's not that they hate me. But they cannot tolerate my presence. I don't know, Swamiji, what I have done. I have gone to the various astrologers, they have put the stones in my fingers, and I have done this puja and that puja. I don't know what has gone wrong. Will you please help me? I said, Papa, I call him Papa, because he's a very elderly man. Now he must be more than about 80, 85. So I said, Papa, I'll tell you. But are you ready to listen? He said, yes. But it will hurt you. Are you ready to listen? Yes. I said, you know what has happened? You have done, no doubt, good to so many people. You are a genius, there is no doubt about it. But this other should say, not you. Every time you talk to your children, you bring your dead past. I have done this thing. Once it is okay, twice it is okay, thrice it is okay. Every day the same reversible CD90 cassette goes on. And if you have done good to somebody, please remember one thing. We cannot do good to anybody in this world. We cannot do bad anybody to in this world. Everybody is self-sufficient as regards his own destruction is concerned. But we have that wrong notion that I have done this thing, I have done that thing, and I have done so much for them, but they don't recognize me. Remember one thing, do good, but forget after that. In Punjabi there is a saying, Neki kar kuएं में डाल. Do good and forget. Don't bring out your goodness through your mouth. What happens? In Delhi I was, and my hobbies are very peculiar. One of my hobbies is reading on the back side of a truck or anything which is showing me back. Once I was going in Bombay, there was a small, we couldn't overtake. and there was an elephant walking. And a person who was driving me, he was becoming crazy. He says, Swamiji, I don't know what is going to happen to Bombay. The whole world is pouring in. There is no place even you can't overtake. Look here, now this elephant is walking. How much time it will take? No, I don't know. I said, look here, keep cool. See what is written on the backside of the elephant. Mera Bharat Mahan. And it was going slowly. I said, take it in the right spirit. Don't react all the time. So, when I was in Delhi, I saw on the back side of a rickshaw, auto rickshaw, very beautifully written. Neki kar, joote kha. Neki kar, joote kha. Maine khaye, tu bhi kha. But what happens? We do good to people, no doubt about it. But 100 times we, जिसको कहते हैं जताना. You tell 100, I have done this thing for him, I have done this thing for that. Friends, one suffers the load of obligation already. And above all, we tell 10 times, I have done this thing for my son, I have done this thing for this thing. That destroys the whole goodness that we have done. Now, if this is to be told to a man, he will get shaken totally. So I told him, I said, look here, Papa, you wanted to know why it is? It is because of this. How long are you going to glorify your past? And how long you are going to shadow the life of your own children? Below a huge banyan tree, no sapling can grow. Don't make your children bonsais. Let them grow. Give them total freedom and appreciate their little growth rather than comparing your achievement and condemning their failures. I said, this is what you must have been doing. I don't know. They never told me anything. He said, then how did you come to this conclusion? I said, the way you told me your story, you must be telling this story to everybody. If there is nobody, to the mirror. Now what happens? This is called as myopic vision. Maya is a technical term. And in medical terminology, myopic vision. See, both the same words. What is the Maya? Maya is summation of our total past. There was a person who happened to get into the train in the same compartment where I was. We are going in the AC compartment from Bombay to Delhi. This happened long time back, about 15-20 years before. And I settled down. After some time he came. A huge structure. And he wanted to talk. So I thought, how to stop him digging my past. So he said, hello, how are you? Where are you going? What is your name? Where from you have come? A questionnaire was planted on my face. So, like Shivaji Maharaj used to take out his talwar, I took out my mala and started. I am doing japa, so normally I don't talk, okay? Now you tell about yourself. Exactly this is what he wanted. And he started, one after another, one after another. I think our Dadaji used to be in Kabul selling chana. That means now I have to listen the 3-generation story. And this happened, that happened, we went here, we went there, then Pakistan and then partition, and then we went here and then we came to Bombay and settled in Ulhasnagar. You know USA, Indian USA is Ulhasnagar Sindhi Association. So he said, and then I did this thing, I cut somebody's throat, somebody's pocket, and now I amass a lot of wealth. And meanwhile, by God's grace, we have a dozen of children and everything. And now I have got, this asthmatic problem. So, and in between I used to pump him. So he'll get more inspired. And ultimately, then what happened? My children told that you may, Papa, go to Delhi. It's a dry climate. It will help you. This, asthma will become bad in Bombay. Then what happened? He said, then they put me in the train. Wow, wonderful. Then what happened? Then I landed in front of you. Oh, great. Then what happened? Be very attentive. The moment you come in the absolute present, your mouth shuts. I said, then what happened? I realized my mistake. Why did I talk for last 3 hours? Friends, we are unable to drop. And as a result, we have already this myopic vision. Please remember, when we come in contact with anything or anybody in this world, what is required is whether we gather impressions or we gather wisdom. For example, we all have touched fire during our childhood, some time or the other. And because of that, we got our hand burnt. Now, about the fire, we have liking or disliking or understanding that the fire burns. We have understanding that the fire burns. We don't have liking, we don't have disliking. Now, with this understanding, again we come in contact with the same fire which has the burning ability. But now, how do we come in contact? In such a manner that the same burning ability of the fire which has burnt my finger as a child, I utilize that negative force for my creative use. Is it not? In the same manner, when we are living in this world, one of the most important thing is we have to live in the present. Living all the time in the past has no meaning. This is what happens. We forget that nobody is interested in our past. Everybody is interested in their future. But I have nothing to talk except my past. See, in one of your management conferences somewhere, we had a non-formal management workshop in one of the retreats. They came with the wife, children. I said, come the whole lot. And evening we used to have a common gathering. The wife, the husband, the children, and everybody. And we used to play. And in that we used to learn. So one day, in that, I called one child. I said, hey, come on, you have to tell something about you. A child hardly 5 years. I don't want to tell. I said, no, beta, we have to play. We are all playing here. Say whatever you want to say about you. I don't like mummy when she tells me to take bath in the morning. First. Second thing. My friend is good for some time, but afterwards he takes away my things, then I give him. The third, I am feeling very hungry. Very good, go on. No, I don't have to tell anything. I said, no, you have to talk for 5 minutes. Please tell. No, I don't want. I said, no, then you are not playing the game. He said, okay, I am feeling shushu, I will do it here if you don't allow me to go. I said, Baba, go, don't do it here. And he went, his talk was over. Then I called 75 not out. And when 75 not out came, the same game. Now talk something about yourself. We have to call the fire brigade to put him off. Non-stop. Now what is the reason? The reason is the child has hardly any past, so easier for him to keep his mouth shut. The 75 not out has Hanumanji ki dum, a long past. And therefore, about everything he has got a long story. Friends, please remember, why elders do not fit in the young company is because of this. They are constantly talking about their past. Please remember, nobody is interested in our past, even if we are Bhagwan Sri Krishna or even if we are Mahatma Gandhi. Please remember this. But this somehow doesn't go into it. And this is called as the myopic vision. Don't you hear this kind of things in homes? When the children in one South Indian family, I went Delhi. After climbing the third or fourth floor, I said, my God, you have given me a good appetizer, now give good food. And when I sat there, they had two sons, husband, wife and two sons. And the sons were class, one was 12th, second was in 10th standard. For the first time I have gone to their house because of the mummy. Father was always busy and children busy with the school. Mummy is to come. When I went, I don't know why, but I started. I said, hey, have you bought that latest jean which has come in the market? So the Swamiji, how do you know that latest jean? I said, I am updated. You know, it is written in Bhagavad Gita. And I know you must have asked, but daddy must have said, jean, last month only you bought one. How many jeans you want to buy? When we were children, my elder brothers, clothes used to be inherited by the next four brothers. And when it was torn into pieces, we used to make that full pant into half and that has to put on. And you people, you want, I just said fun in a fun manner. And it was exactly that has happened in that house. The children, Swamiji, you are a genius. Dad, listen. I said, then you also must have said, Dad, your dad was a poor guy. Why are you jealous of my dad who can afford? Now see what happens. That we are all the time living in the past. Please remember, we can only destroy the present by recalling the past. Don't bring your past even once in your mind and don't ask anybody's past. See? Then what happens? You are able to look into the present without any biasness. And when this we don't understand, and this we call as culture, tradition. Cultural tradition is not maintaining a hairstyle. Like one place I went, one big gathering, when I was getting on the stage, one elderly man came. He said, Swamiji, kindly tell our youngsters, they require a very big dose that they should honor our culture, tradition. क्यों ताने आजकल लड़कियां पैंट क्या पहनती है, बाल क्या काटती है, सब अपने कल्चर का नाश हो रहा है. He pumped me when I was just getting into it. And I told, A culture which talks about a hairstyle is a barbarous culture. And when you talk about cultures, only you are hitting the ladies. Culture is not only the costume or the hairstyle of the ladies. When your grandfather was putting on a big pagdi, where your pagdi has gone? He was putting on a dhoti, where your dhoti has gone. I said, don't get lost in that kind of funny thought process. What is important is, are we fit in today's world or not? That is more important. We have to be fit in today. And if this is your clear vision, then you will never have the hang-ups of the past. And if that is there, you will see, today if I have to go and study in the school, I have full confidence that I will fail. Today the children, how much they have to go through. But we don't understand their point of view. And all the time bring the past, bring the past. Therefore, myopic vision is the obsession of our past, and because of that, we destroy our present. It's extremely necessary. I'll tell you about one very elderly Mahatma, not as a criticism, but my observation. He has been a great, scholar, Sanskrit, written many commentaries on Gita, Brahma Sutra, Upanishad in original Sanskrit, and I have studied his books, and therefore he likes me also. And he always tells, some people come when I go to meet him, he's very old, he must be about 85 or 90. So whenever I go and take his darshan and sit at his feet, he said, no, Swamiji, you sit up there, and he will tell. Today in India, if there is someone who can really eloquently bring out the secrets of Bhagavad Gita, it is he alone in English for the modern people. That is his standard dialogue about me whenever I go. We being old, he forget it. He told it 100 times. Now I have by hearted that. Okay. He was extremely negative about why the scripture should be spoken in English. Extremely negative. Mlencha Bhasha, it should not be used. Only or Indian language should be used. And when he is to say, has to keep quiet. Then what happened? He has got his Sanskrit books, Hindi books, translated in English and got it published, and I was called to release that book. Then he said that today's world is communicating in English, and therefore it is necessary for us to communicate in that language which is easily acceptable by the masses. Now this thing, earlier he was a strong opponent. But please remember, if we want to survive in this world, we have to update ourselves according to the requirement of the time. And what is this myopic vision? Myopic vision is inability to drop the past. If you have failed 2-3 times, never mind. Now take up another thing. How long are you going to lead a life of fearful existence? Now to change our myopic vision, what are the things which are required? First, the desire to change. Second thing, the readiness to change. I have a desire, but I think next time. Why next time? Right now. Never delay. No procrastination. And third, be ready for the worst thing that can happen in your life. At the most, what will happen? At the most, you will die. All the problems over. So don't lead your life carrying the load of your past and destroy your present and don't make your future. What I am talking to you is based on Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्म चेतसा निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगत ज्वरः. Let us not be the load carriers of our past. So what you have to do? Only one thing. Learn from your own mistakes and grow wise and don't repeat it. That's it. Otherwise, if you carry that, no, I did like that, then I failed, and then therefore I am expert in failing. Very good. At least you are expert in something. So once you have decided that I have to change, and this is what Gita says, sadhurevasya mantavyah samyak vyavasthito hi saha. He who has decided to change himself, he is a great master. All the great masters were born only with one single decision. And I have to change. I am no more going to lead a second class, discarded, unproductive, deathful existence. See? Take that challenge. And friends, what is that which doesn't allow us to change? Only one thing. And that is, we have security. Therefore, lesser the security you have, more dynamic you become. Security is not an asset, it is a liability. Very important. I tell you, one day one lady asked me one question. It was probably in Sydney, Theosophical Society. I was called to deliver a lecture, living life on war footings. That was the topic given. And there was one lady, she said, Swamiji, you are a Swami, but why do you talk about war? I said, my dear grandmother, understand it is the idiom in English language, living life on war footing. I am not talking about war. Oh, then it is okay. Now can you imagine, to such one of the audience I had to talk. So, then she introduced that he is a very funny Swami. He doesn't have any place, he doesn't have any ashram, he doesn't have any disciples, and he keeps on moving all alone. So before he starts, we want to ask him a question. How can he move all around the world alone without any, person helping him? Then I started my talk. I said, look here. If I have any load of security on my head, I will be a creeper. A creeper is always looking for some kind of oak tree to grow. See, take one or two examples. When Mahatma Gandhi started his crusade, that time he was a failure in Gujarat. Those who are unfit to live in India, they are exported. They are called as NRIs. Not real Indians. Real Indians will live in India in spite of India. So, he was exported. Although he was a bard at law, so he went to South Africa. And there what was his job? Collecting the rent of his landlord who appointed him from the various properties. That was the job of Mahatma Gandhi. Not Mahatma Gandhi, of M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And he was just leading a very, very third class life of a successfully failed person as a lawyer. And after having gone there, he has somehow or the other taken a big challenge that I am going to live for a cause. Be very attentive. Living for living sake, for that we don't have to be human being. Even dogs live, plants grow, even the weeds grow. What is great in that? Living for a cause is the life of a really meaningful human being. And you can live for a cause. When you have selected the cause, you are dedicated to the cause, and whether somebody supports you or not, who cares? You jump. And then see, you will discover infinite potentialities which were dormant in you start becoming unfolding, one after another. And all those great ideas which were suppressed because of this vaccine of security. Never, never take security from anybody in this world. Extremely important. I remember there is one child, a small girl, must be about 8 years. You want something? Come. Put it in your mouth, not in the hand. Huh? Otherwise, Swamiji, I had taken it in the hand, nothing is happening. So, a small child, Worli Sea Face. After my evening lecture, I walked there for about half an hour. A small child, very sweet, and sells, this kind of packed junk food, our potato chips and all that. When I saw that child, I liked so much. Very sweet, very cute. I said, hey, come here. I lifted that child, must be about 8 years, 9 years, light. I lifted, I kissed. And I said to my friend, I don't carry money. I said, hey, give her 10 rupees. So he gave her 10 rupees. She said, why you are giving me 10 rupees? I said, no, I just like you. I said, I don't want your money. She said, you buy this packet and then you give me 10 rupees. I said, no, I just want to give. You know what she told me? You may want to give, I don't want to accept. Now tell me, with that spirit, will that child ever lead a third class existence? See? And I asked her, hey, what's your name? She said, how does it matter? I said, really, it doesn't matter. And now every time I go, I am searching for that girl. And then she comes running. Uncle, I am here. This is your packet. Give me 10 rupees. Take this packet. See? Living without security brings out the best in you. And then you learn the most important thing, that there is higher power in this world which can take care of us better if we know how to take care of our life. See? Rectify this your myopic vision. Whatever has happened in the past, highlight, delete. Don't keep hanging about that. And when you start living in the present, your full potentiality can explode into a dynamo of creativity. That is called as really living meaningfully. Otherwise, What happened to you? Why you are like that? I don't know. I don't feel like doing anything. Then, when it is 12 o'clock, mouth opens. And when the food is not according to my choice, then I can become angry. See? I don't feel like doing anything. Only eating. Please remember, every moment of our life is an opportunity given to us by the Lord. Opportunity never knocks at your door. You have to grab her and work for that. And that you can do only by these three techniques. First, bury the past and don't brood over your failure or your past events. There is none in this world who has not done any mistake. Even God has done a mistake. Really? What? He has created us. So everybody has done a mistake. Therefore, you are one among everybody. If you have not done a mistake, then you must be a stone. Now, if you learn from your mistake, you will grow wise. If you carry the load of your mistakes, you will become a donkey of life. Now, in this manner, you utilize the past to learn and drop the past. Then second thing, you must have to have a dream about the future. Those who cannot dream, they cannot work. You have to have the dream. And the dream could be anything. And once you have the dream, you work for that sincerely. And then you will come to know higher the goal that you have set in your life, more is the challenge that you have to face in life. And those who are not ready to face the challenges in life, they are leading death every moment. You know, there is one thing called as hurdle race. One day I was sitting in somebody's house in UP, in Varanasi, and some Olympic things were going on the TV. And then that old lady, she was sitting with me. I said, Mama, let us see. She said, okay, Swamiji. And the race was going on. And there was this hurdle race. So these girls will come and they'll run, and then there is a hurdle, so they have to jump and again run, again another hurdle, again jump. So she asked me, Swamiji, poor girls, why they put on those hurdles? Remove them, so they can run comfortably. How cute. I said, Mama, I really never understood this. Life is a hurdle race and you have to win it. Don't bypass. Jump over. And then when you win that race, then you are so proud of your own being. So set goal. Higher goal. Not the same goal. If I get one dhokla per month, eat enough. No. Have something higher. One of my Gujarati friends was asking me, Swamiji, why you don't like dhokla? I said, I don't like idli and dhokla. Because dhokla is a masculine gender of idli. Same. But what is wrong in our Gujarat? We like dhokla, we make for people as a special dish. I said, do you know why I don't like? Once I was coming from Dwarka to Ahmedabad, summertime, and we were in our car or bus, and we had to stop somewhere below a tree. It was so hot, we stopped for some time. There was a truck also. Truck also stopped, and the driver was a Sardarji. And his handyman was a Gujarati. So that driver, Sardarji, was telling to that Gujarati handyman, kindly get that particular spanner or something like that. And this Gujarati fellow could not understand. And he was talking in Punjabi, and that Gujarati fellow couldn't understand. So he will bring the wrong thing, wrong thing. And the Sardarji got angry and he abused him. अरे ढोकले वो दिखता नहीं क्या? From that day onward, I decided I am not going to become a dhokla. What could be a better expression than this? So, when we have ambition, when we have something great to be achieved in life, and please remember, greatness initially must be in terms of materialistic progress. Don't have that wrong notion. Simple living, high thinking. It is stupid living and dummy thinking. See? If I say, I have dispassion for the position of Prime Minister of India, who is going to make me? Nobody. If I have all the possibility and yet I discard, then my renunciation is meaningful. See? Let us not have that thing like, Majburi ka naam Mahatma Gandhi. No. Mahatma Gandhi's poverty was very expensive. You know that? This Miss Naidu used to tell Mahatma Gandhi, sir, your poverty is very expensive. Because when you travel in the third class, it is more expensive than you travel in the first class. So we have material success as a goal in the outer world and inner poise in the inner world. So be extremely careful what I am talking. Without the material prosperity in the outer world as a goal of our life, we will not shed away the lethargy, the negativity, the frustration, and we will not overcome the past failures. It is extremely necessary. Don't get carried away. Oh, tyage nahi ki amrutatva manasya. This is not for you. First earn and then discard. See, there is one boy, I really love him. He's a young boy. He must be about 31, 32. He is so close to me. His father was a drunkard, mother a psychic case, sister married and lost her husband, child also died, and house was in a mess. That time this boy was studying in class 7, 8. And there was nothing in the house to eat. Father will never understand anything. Whatever little things he used to sell and drink. And this child at that age, he started selling coconut on the seashore. Earn every day 30, 40, 20 rupees. Bring vada pav, give everybody at home. Slowly, slowly he worked hard, day and night. And slowly he started some more business like that. And today he has developed himself a factory where more than 500 tailors are working. And his name has become so famous on the beaches of Goa that all the foreign visitors who come, they come and stitch only from him. And he has got 14 factories. And he said, Swamiji, I don't know how to thank you. You may not be knowing me because I never met you. But what has really saved me in my life is your talks and cassettes. I said, what did I do? He said, I was having so much of frustration. Why had I did like that? He said, then in one of your talk you mentioned, don't condemn anybody in this world. Every difficulty is a grinding stone for you to polish your abilities. If your dad had not been like that, you will never come up. Living in the security like a bonsai, and a bonsai plant looks beautiful only on the your dining table or in your drawing room. Cannot support even 20 mosquitoes sit on that. Do we want to become a bonsai? No. Become a huge banyan tree. And let many be benefited by our presence. That is life. And now what happens? He, every now and then he says, Swamiji, I want to send or give you some money. Please tell me, how should I send? What for? So, I tell him, you send in the name of this particular institution for as a corpus for the scholarship in this kind of educational activities. In next day by courier his checks come, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakhs. He says, Swamiji, I could not study in my life, whatever may be the reason. But now I have taken this. That whatever I am earning, how much I am going to eat in my life. So, now I will keep on saying, you do whatever you like. He said, why don't you start your school? I said, there are many already schools which are suffering because of lack of funds. Let us start supporting them. That becomes a meaningful life. Otherwise, we condemn. When I was a child, my parents never educated me, and see other. Don't cry, don't condemn anybody. Bring out the best in you. You require a hard surface to apply your instrument. Grishtam grishtam punarapi punaha chandanam charugandham chinnam chinnam punarapi punaha swadu chaivekshu dagdham dagdham punarapi punaha kanchanam kantavarnam. The more you burn the gold, it shines. The more you go on cutting the sugar cane downwards, it becomes sweeter and sweeter. The more you rub the sandalwood, it gives fragrance. The more difficulties come in our life, they are meant as an opportunity to shine forth and bring out the hidden genius in you. Now, what is the total sum of what we studied? Don't carry the load of the past. Second, decide, and I have to change enough of this indolent existence. For that, have higher goal in life. I am no more satisfied by living a small little things. No. See, those of you who have gone to New Zealand, you must be remembering, right on the airport, when you go for the immigration, there is a big board. And it is so beautifully written there. Welcome to those who have the guts to cross the oceans all alone and come in search of new pastures. See? How beautiful it is. You will see all those people who have really done well. What is the secret, you know? They left their place. A person staying in Bhuj for generations together, never going out of Bhuj, he will be buried in the next earthquake. Those who left Bhuj came to Ahmedabad, they became big. Those who left Ahmedabad went to Bombay, they became big. Those who went to other countries, left Bombay, they became big. You have to change yourself from the same rut of secured existence. Then you will see, you will discover new ideas, new potentialities. So, let us take the past as the igniting key. Let us keep highest goal as the future to be attained, and let us live in the present to achieve that goal with all commitment. With this, when you start leading your life, all your myopic burden will be no more a burden, but it will be an asset. With this you grow. Like I gave the example of this boy. Now see how happy he must be feeling. So one day he came to Pune. From Pune, Lonavala is near. My camp was going on. So he came with his father, mother, and he himself. His wife was out for delivery to her parents. So he came, he put them in a hotel. And he was staying with me in Lonavala. So we had to change his train journey for some reason. I said, hey, if your parents have to change journey, how it will happen? He said, Swamiji, I know my dad very well. He will change his program 10 times. So you know what I do? I have already booked 10 times different trains for him. I can't discard him, he is my dad. Whatever he is, I had to serve him. My mom, she is crazy. What can I do now? I can't change her. So the only thing is, I have accepted them as they are. So when I go any place, I have always booked 3-4 alternative tickets. And the one by which they go that is valid, others I cancel. At the most what will happen? I lose few hundred rupees. But there is peace. See how beautiful it is. But we get lost into unwanted, unproductive discussions. What is the bottom line? Bottom line is external prosperity and inner peace. When you sow a seed, it grows in 2 directions. The one which is above the ground is seen, but the strength of the tree which is above the ground is supported by the growth under the ground. Let your external prosperity be visibly evident as your success, but at the same time, let there be peace, cheer, happiness, lack of arrogance, and remembering what we are able to achieve in life is because of the divine grace and not because of our efforts alone. When this combination of our personality is clearly understood, we have discarded that myopic vision. Otherwise, the whole life goes only on that. I'll tell you one negative example. One boy, he is a very genius. He teaches mathematics in Bombay. And I know that boy when he was in class 12, he did his engineering. And he is such a genius in mathematics. And he takes the private tuitions. And within a period of 3 years or 4 years, he has bought flat worth about 60 lakhs. He will be teaching right from morning 6 o'clock to night 12 o'clock. Like crazy. And he earned a lot. And then he got married. And in that marriage something has gone wrong. So she said, I don't want to stay in this house, I will go back. And she went back. Now this fellow, he came. I said, look here, I appreciate that girl who quit first before you had to tell her. So she is the winner. And you are a sufferer. So, if you don't want to live together, part cheerfully and start your life afresh. You are hardly married for 6 months. Don't destroy the whole life. No. I will see that I will destroy her life. And he has taken that as his only project. I said, look here, don't do this. You are such a genius. What is the use of that genius which can produce tremendous wealth in such a short period of time where he can buy a lot of property, but the inner roots were shallow. external progress and prosperity cannot stand the onslaught of the dirty climates of life without the inner strength. Therefore, changing, rather correcting our myopic vision is grow both directions. External prosperity should not be compromised. Earn, produce wealth. At the same time, don't have the wrong notion that money alone can give you everything. And with this understanding, when we live, we have discarded the load of our past. We have planned a beautiful future, and only planning will not help. You have to work on the plan. And then start working day and night. And friends, there is never a time which is ever late. There's a friend of mine who came from US. The other day I met him. He is basically a pharmacist, a scientist in pharmacology. He worked in USA for many years. And then he changed his line. He said, Swamiji, I was getting bored in the same thing. So I changed to IT. And at the age of 55, he has jumped into this new IT profession all fresh. He said, let me take this challenge and learn what beautiful things can happen. And he said, I am doing so well. That is life. Otherwise, wahi tamaku, wahi chuna, ragarte jao, khate jao. It's life. Take challenges and create future and make life a meaningful existence. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.